Hi guys, welcome to
Hi.
our YouTube channel. This is Sam and Olga as usual. Yeah, today we're bringing you a relationship detox tip number 2. By the way, all the tips we're bringing you are very, very important, so please pay attention to all these tips. Today our tip is going to be avoid outside influences in your relationship. So that is what we're going to be doing today. So without wasting time, we're again in the woods with the kids this time. We want to avoid any disturbances and um, obst- ob- obstructions
Obstructions.
and interferences in our video. So we want to just quickly give you these
Yeah,
tips so
give
that we
you
can
our 2 cents on the subject.
yeah.
Yeah, because we actually sat down and we talked about all the things that make our relationship, work,
Yeah.
and we communicate pretty good and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's basically not what we do, but mostly what we don't do. And so
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
why we want to. That's why we titled it "Relationship Detox,"
Yeah.
right? Because a lot of people have these things
Exactly.
that I think are bringing more negative energy into the relationship than positive. So and
Yep.
so we talked about acting on assumptions, which was tip number 1, to avoid that as much as you can, and
Exactly.
do go
Yeah.
ahead and watch our videos on that. So today's, like Sam said, avoid outside influences into your relationship.
Yeah.
And especially so there's 2 different types of influences, I guess.
Yep.
If us as a couple, for example, we as a couple are having problems that we don't seem to be able to solve on our own,
Yeah.
it's perfectly fine to go and seek outside help from someone that we both know and both trust, someone that knows us, that can
Yeah.
maybe help us get through it. That is one part, which is totally fine. But we're talking more about couples where there's usually one of the two, and it's, from what we've seen, usually the female, the woman in the relationship, that talks about every little detail about the relationship to other people. It could be
Her
the
peers,
mom, her parents, it could be friends, it could be family members, but it's not, it's okay at some point, at one point, but then if it keeps continuing on and on and on, you're bound to get advice from these people, based on their own experience and based on their own interpretation of what you are telling them.
Yep.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to apply to your relationship, and that it's not going to solve your problems. From what we have seen so far, it rather creates more problems.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Because your relationship is kind of like an open book and an open door to everybody on the outside, where we believe it's nobody's business other than the two of you. So if you keep talking about every little thing to people on the outside, and especially the most toxic part about that is if you do that without the other person's knowledge. So let's say if I'm not happy about something that Sam did, but instead of talking to him about it, I go and I badmouth him to all of my friends and family. Eventually he will find out, right? And even if he doesn't, the way these people also will treat him is based on what I gossip about. Because in that situation, I believe it's really you're gossiping about your spouse.
Exactly.
And that is not building each other up, that is not working together. That is the exact opposite of that, and we have seen it time and time again, where outside influence like that has really affected the relationship on a negative in a negative way. So it's really, really important not to do that. And the reason why we also bring that up, because we've never seen anyone else bring this particular issue up, and it's a big problem, and Sam knows firsthand, because that is one of the major reasons why his first marriage broke up.
Also didn't work. Yep.
So do you want to maybe reiterate on that?
Yeah.
As well?
So guys, basically what I wanted to say to you guys is at the moment we all on lockdown.
Lockdown.
Actually lockdown.
He's been watching too many prison shows. Locked up.
Yeah, sorry. We are all locked down, and because of this coronavirus or COVID-19, a lot of things are going to, be different when we get back to our normal.
Right.
Things are never going to be the same. A lot of things, job, businesses, everything that right now that was normal 2 months ago it's not going to be anymore
the same.
and so is so is our relationships, you know. I realized that personally, I realized something that, or observed something about relationships. I realized that the reason why most relationships do not last or work is the fact that we do things that are not what do you call it, things that we're not supposed to do in the relationships. That is why we bring, or we, you know, titled our topic relationship detox. That means we need to purge out some of these things that is happening in our relationships so that we can thrive, you know, not hanging by thread or surviving,
Hanging on by thread,
but thriving in that relationship. That's the aim and the, you know, idea of, or the reason why we get into relationships, you know. Nobody wants to get in a relationship and, you know, feel pain. So expatiating, or, you know, talking on her point, which is the detox tip number 2. The outside influence that we're talking about is one of the killers in that relationship.
Yeah.
If I have a problem with my wife or my girlfriend or my partner, and he or she goes outside, you know, to talk about the problem without my consent, that even exacerbate the relationship. It even puts more flame, because I'm upset already that why can't we, you didn't even contact me, you didn't talk to me about the problem, and yet you go outside even talking about all these problems, but our issues outside. So it's like you're sleeping in the room but your legs are outside. And this is what we talk about. This is like one of the major killers. It kills everything. It kills trust, everything that you have
because
for your partner.
Part of being intimate, part of intimacy is also the trust that you have. And if you choose to complain about your spouse to other people outside of your relationship instead of talking to the you know, the partner, that means you're not interested in fixing the problem.
Exactly.
Right? That means you're just basically putting blame.
That's
you know, and stuff like that. And that is not how can that work?
No,
like,
it won't work.
It's just common sense. It
Yeah,
can never work.
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work, because like I said, it would even inflame. It would add more injury
salt to the injury.
Salt to the injury than what it
already is.
So the best way to avoid is, if you still want to, there's a way to go about it. So seek the consent, you know, like both of you have to have the consent of somebody that you both know and trust and respect, you know, that when the person brings his or her input into whatever problem it is in your relationship, you both gonna, you know, like adhere to that, or, you know, take the advice that the person might bring or contribute.
But I think what you meant is seek each other's consent to bring
that's exactly
in
what I mean.
a person that you both agree on. Not seek the consent of someone else. You don't need their consent.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say.
Seek each other's consent to go out and bring someone in.
Exactly.
If that's what you deem is necessary.
Exactly. And that way that actually propels a peaceful, you know, resolution to whatever problem you're having in your relationship.
Exactly. But
without offending your other significant.
You know, as far as I'm concerned, if you have good communication going between each other, then most of the time I don't believe there's a need to go and seek outside help.
Yes.
You know, if you do happen to be in a situation where that's the case, go ahead and do that. But again, have each other's consent to do that. Don't just go and blab your inside stuff to everybody outside. You know, like that famous saying, like, don't wash your dirty linen in public.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, you are going to be made a laughing stock, and you don't want to, and you don't want that, right? Especially men, they don't want to be demasculinized, masculinized, whatever, you know what I mean, by having a certain image in front of those people on the outside, you know, because if you keep talking to other people and you know, dishing out information that is like, you know, like confidential type of information to other people, that also tells them that the man or whoever the other partner is doesn't have any any say in the relationship and doesn't have a grasp on it, and that he's just kind of
just floating
out of the
you know.
picture somehow.
Yeah.
Like he has the title as this is this person's boyfriend
Yeah.
or girlfriend, but they really don't have any input into the relationship, and most of the
Mm-hmm.
time that is not true. So you're giving people also the wrong impression of your spouse,
Exactly.
and in the end of the day that also reflects upon you.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
if
Yep.
your partner is really that
Yep.
useless in your eyes that you cannot even talk to them about your problems, then you are the one that picked them. Why
There
did
you
you
go.
pick someone that is
Yeah.
so in like insufficient
Yeah.
in a way as you
Yeah. Yeah.
as they portray them out to be, right? So
Yeah.
it just comes back and
Yeah.
bites you in the butt, you know.
And I mean, it's of no use doing that.
Yeah.
Especially when you know your partner really doesn't like that stuff. Just do everything you can to refrain from that.
Yeah.
Because it won't end well.
Right.
That is almost a guarantee. If someone doesn't like something, if she doesn't like something, and I keep doing the same thing she doesn't like, that's it. I'm just slowly, digging my own, what do you call it,
Great.
grave, so to speak.
So to speak, yeah.
Yeah. Because one day I'll just come home and she's gone. Because that's what it is.
There's only so much humans can take.
Thank you. So you
As-
don't want to.
as a partner, you're supposed to be a cushion. You're not supposed
Exactly.
to be, the cause for people to go over the edge. You're not supposed to push your partner over the edge.
not at
You're
all.
supposed to
Yeah.
be the cushion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the stronghold, basically.
exactly.
And,
Yeah.
just don't do things that portray the opposite of that. That's all we're saying.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't go above the human threshold.
Yeah.
And yeah. So yeah, I guess anything else you want?
That's it. I think
Yeah.
we made
So,
our point.
yeah.
Do put your comments in the section below and let us know what you think.
Exactly.
And put any questions that you have, and of course subscribe to our channel.
Yeah.
And
And also would like to know if you've gone, you personally went through something similar, or
Of course.
or you are currently going. Let us know also, and
Yeah.
see how we can, help each other.
okay.
We are every day learning and growing.
For
Okay. All right.
All right, guys. Thank
Until
you.
then,
Bye.
detox.